5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Price of Marriage.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. This is our first marriage talk show-ish type of thing. And we have a lovely couple here today.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about marriage stuff. So look, get your boo. Share this. Make sure you hit that share button and get your boo or your bae or whatever. Gather around so we can dive into some marriage talk. All right, y'all. So we're going to talk about something today, all right?
Okay.
Let's see. We've been married, 19 years? It'll be 19 years pretty soon. And how long y'all been married?
Ooh, it's been a strong year.
A strong year. Not a year, but a strong year. That's what I like, that. A strong year. Okay, so I want to talk about becoming one. But before we do that, y'all want to introduce yourself? Because y'all not just be taking over, right? So y'all want to introduce yourself? You want to introduce yourself, babe?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't think anybody know me right now, but I'm Pastor JP, and this is Justin and the kid. I'll let Justin take it from here.
I'm Justin Hicks. 26-year-old, God lover, musician, husband, not yet a father. And this is my wife.
Not yet. I like that.
No,
Okay.
not yet.
Okay.
My name is Nakia Hicks.
I like that.
Yeah, I have to get used to
Like saying that last name?
Yeah, I
like that? Okay.
Yeah, my name is Nakia Hicks. I am a wife. I'm 27 years old, and
I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
you're older?
I am literally by a month and
One day.
Yeah, a month and
OMG, it's kind of like us. He's older by a month. And, well, not quite a month. Is it a month? Yeah, a month and 5 days. He's older like a month and 5 days. So,
Wow.
pretty cool. Okay, y'all. So, we're going to talk about something that I think most marriages may struggle with in the beginning.
Okay.
And that is becoming one.
Yeah.
There's two people merging together and becoming one. So I want to, because, this is Bible-based, I want to give us a foundation. Can I give us a foundation?
Sure.
So Genesis 2:24, it says, "For this reason, a man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall be joined to his wife, and they shall become one." So, to me, that's like the outline of marriage, right? That's the outline of marriage, what God has given us. When a man finds his wife, he leaves his father and his mother, and they become one.
Yeah.
I found out that is quite difficult sometimes.
I don't be throwing no shade now.
That is quite difficult.
It
It's
can
quite
be.
difficult to become one because I have my way of thinking. He has his way of thinking, right? So I just kind of want to hear from you guys from a newlywed's perspective. How is that after this first year? Has it been a year yet? Y'all had your first year in the marriage? Okay, so how has that been becoming one?
And especially being raised in two different households. I want to hear you all's perspective as individuals.
You want to take it?
I'll let you go first.
Okay.
We'll let the head go first.
So for us, becoming one, not saying that it's been difficult, but a little bit difficult, only because of the reason that we've come from separate households. My parents did things a certain way, her parents did things another way, and in turn, how we grow up is how we end up, going throughout life. I know Mama used to do this, so
Right.
Mama do this for
Right.
Dad, or I like how the house used to smell like this. Some people like bleach in their house, but in my household, my daddy could not stand the smell of bleach.
Right.
And so you have bleach and Fabuloso going through the house, and it's
And that's me. Yeah.
you think that's how it's supposed to be. Mama kept it like that, and so you just have to learn each other. It's been a good road, I would say. We still kind of bump heads in small areas, but it's nothing too big, and I think communication is great in that area because you have to realize that she didn't do this, let's see, the way she did it, it was good in her eye. So I know she's not going to do anything that's going to be hurtful or harmful in any way. Everything she does would be, for good reason. And so I have to understand that and not be so, why you did this? Or what about this? I don't see it that way, and just understand her reasoning and saying, okay, well, I'll try it like that, or maybe it's better for me. That's kind of how I go throughout it. What you say?
I would say it was definitely an adjustment at the beginning. Because I'm the type of person, if I ask you to do something, I want it done right then.
Oh, okay.
So if I ask you, can you take out the trash? I mean, get up off the game and go do it now.
Oh,
Right.
boss lady, boss lady.
All right.
Boss lady.
Oh, wait, okay.
But I had to learn, like, just because I want it done right then, that doesn't mean somebody else has to do it right then. It's gonna get done.
Yeah.
One day we were freshly married. It was like a month in. I'm in the kitchen. I'm washing dishes. I'm just doing stuff, and he was playing the game. I'm just like, hey, can you take out the trash? And he was just like, yeah, I get it. He didn't get up within that hour to do it, so I'm upset. Like, why would you not just go ahead and take out trash? I've done everything else. Just do it.
Right.
It got done. It didn't have to be done within that hour. It took place. So for me to start an argument and get upset and get mad about it, it was pointless because it got done. Just because it didn't get done in time I wanted it to get done, it still happened. So just being patient, I would say has been the greatest lesson that I've learned. And just knowing that, I mean, it doesn't have to happen at my time, but as long as it happens, it's cool. There's no reason to start an argument over that. So.
Newlyweds, did y'all hear that, newlyweds? that was good information. You don't have to be petty over little things.
Yeah. Don't be
Let's talk about that. So in that moment though, how did you process those emotions and that feeling? Because maybe from the way you were raised, it's like when you're cleaning up the kitchen, everything needs to be done in that moment. Nothing needs to wait. And so how did you, what were your successes and your failures in that moment? Like, how did you process your emotions? And be candid. Tell us really, like, what did you do? Walk us through that moment.
I want to know.
Right. Walk us through that moment.
Definitely an epic fail, because I'm just standing there, I mean, steaming. Like, I was heated.
Okay.
And it just took time for me just to calm down and just think about, okay, it's going to get done, whatever. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to see. And I learned just by observing that it got done.
Okay.
It didn't get done in that time frame or within that hour, within that next hour, but it got done. Before we went to bed, it was done. I didn't have to go back to him and say, did you forget to take out the trash? He did it. So he heard me the first time. It just took him a little while to get it done. So from then on, I kind of learned my lesson. I know if I say something, it may not get done right then, but I can go ahead and do something else because it's going to get taken care of. So.
Was that a point of communication for you all? Like, did you all communicate about that? Like, did you say, that frustrated me in the moment that you didn't take out the trash when I asked you to? Like, was there any type of conversation, or was it just a aha moment of it got done, so it's not even worth, talking about?
I would say it was just an aha moment for me. I didn't necessarily bring it to him because after it got done a couple hours later, I'm just like, man, that could have been a major issue that we could have had that could have been avoided. So by me just being quiet and just thinking about it, I avoided a whole big commotion because it got done. So
Right. Yeah. So now that requires discipline. Like, for real, that requires. I don't know if I had that at year one. That is commendable because I think my mouth was probably the biggest hindrance in our growth.
I agree.
I think that was the biggest hindrance, starting out, because if I wanted it done and I wanted it done then, I made it known that I wanted it done then, and I kept making it known.
Like, for instance, my daddy used to put gas in my car.
Oh, okay.
My daddy used to wash my car.
Let's
well, you can go back with your daddy.
No, okay. Well, let's go back. Let's go back. Since you want to bring that up. No. Since you want to bring that up. Okay, let me testify, guys. I'm going to testify, okay? So I came from a household of it was my sister and I, the only girls, right? And so, and our father was present in the home. And so my dad did a lot of those things for us. He got our gas. He made sure our car was clean. He made sure it was cleaned out. He did the maintenance on the car.
Shout out to Dad.
Literally. Shout out to my daddy. Yeah, shout out to my daddy. But he did all of those things for us. And so when I got married, we were young. We were 21 we got married. My husband didn't have those same values that I was brought up with. And so when my car got on E and I went to crank up the car, I was like, I don't have any gas. Why is there not gas in my car? And so now I'm mad at him because you're supposed to check and see if I never had to tell my dad that I needed gas.
Yeah.
His nightly routine was to go crank up all the cars, see if they needed gas. He would go get gas and make sure all of us had gas in our cars. So when I woke up and I had to go to work and I didn't have gas, it was a problem. And so now I'm tapping, hey, why don't I have gas in my car? And so the worst thing I could have ever said was, my daddy.
My
did."
daddy.
That started the biggest argument because he was like, I'm not your dad. So like we were real petty, y'all. We were real petty. And so and neither one of us backed down.
Yeah.
And so we were just like bumping heads all the time because I had my point of view, he had his point of view. I was raised one way, he was raised one way. And then the biggest thing that I ever did that was like the ultimate mistake, my battery light came on in my truck. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what the battery light was. And before I called my husband, guess who I called?
Dang.
My daddy.
Say it.
I called my daddy. And so when I called my daddy, and I was no, not the battery light, the oil light. And so when I called my daddy and I told him what was going on, he was like, he said, he said, tell that boy he need to put some oil in that car. And so I called my husband and I said, my daddy said, you need to put some oil in my car.
Those fighting words.
Oh my God. So that was the biggest argument ever.
Yeah.
We had such a big, like a blowout stuff. Oh, we went for a while without talking to each other. It was just horrible. And so once we learned how to communicate, and once we became one, I had to learn that I had to also leave my father and my mother.
Say it again.
I had to also, when we said it again like we in church,
They can hear you.
I had to leave.
Look at the camera.
I also had to leave some of those things
Yeah.
and allow my husband to become one with me.
Yeah.
And then we begin to cultivate our relationship together and learn how to communicate with one another. And I had to learn how to express my expectations to him.
Right.
And then I also had to just learn how to do some things.
Yeah.
Because I had to realize he's not my daddy. He's
But I learned some things too though. Getting up, putting gas in the car comes with benefits. That's for one of you men out there. It comes with benefits.
Don't come with it.
Yes. But we had to learn each other's love language.
Yeah.
And I think that's important in marriage. And the beauty of it, being married a year, being married 19 years, you never stop learning one another's love language. And I think the beauty for me of what I realized is my love language changes in the seasons.
Yeah.
What I needed in year 1 and year 5 is something completely different than what I need in year 19.
So in other words, men, your wife or your future wife, they're going to be ever revolving. So get ready.
So let's talk about that. How do you guys communicate your needs to one another? Like, is it a sit down? Is it a pout? Is it how do you communicate your needs to one another?
I would say it's a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Because he can tell if I'm upset about something because I get really quiet. When I get quiet, sometimes I can just shut down. Which cannot be, I wouldn't say it's a good thing because I'm not very good with expressing how I feel. So that's just something I'm still working on daily, just saying, hey, I don't like how you did this, or that didn't work out too well. It's either I'm going to be really quiet, just not say anything, just kind of be in my feelings, and I'm upset, and it's just going to not be good, or I'm just going to tell you. And a lot of times, you just be like, dog, you ain't have to say it like that. I'm just like, well, I just had to tell you how I feel because it's kind of either one or the other. So I'm still trying to figure out how to bridge the gap on how to say what I need to say. But yeah, it's definitely kind of like a mix of both things.
I know for me, I think I still struggle with that because I don't see myself as a person that has a lot of needs. I'm very content in
Most men are.
We basic.
Most men are.
yeah, I'm mostly
Simple.
content in a lot of situations. So I guess optimistic in a lot of ways. If something is going badly, I try to flip it and find some positive in it.
Right.
So I don't see myself as the type that voices needs and concerns. It just kind of comes out, as time. How do you see if I'm, I guess, in need of something? I don't know.
I mean, I'm like really big on asking questions. So I just come up with random scenarios for the most part. I'm just asking like, so how's he gonna respond to this, or what is he gonna say when it comes down to that? So that's kind of how most of our conversations kind of stem, and then I kind of learn from what his reply is on whether or not this is a go or whether it's a no go. So
Okay. What about you? Like, how do you know? Do I communicate verbally what I need, or is it mostly through actions? Like, how do I do that?
You verbally communicate.
Okay.
You verbally communicate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
It's like she knew the answer.
oh yeah, she knew it.
but I don't think that you necessarily verbally communicate your needs. Now, you verbally communicate everything else.
Yeah.
Because I sometimes say, like, he's the nagger and I'm not. Because, because, like, he can go.
Don't put my business out like that. Put my business out like that.
And on. And I'm more so the type of person, okay, all right, I got it. Let's move on. I don't like to repetitively talk about stuff. I like to just, if it's an issue, let's find a solution, let's move on. I don't like to keep rehashing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my personality is, I don't like it, but he's the type of person, he likes to like talk about the same thing for 5 months.
That'll be no 5 months.
Like, he likes talking about the same thing for 5 months. And so that annoys me. And so we have this thing now, especially like being full-time ministry, and like our whole life is just ministry. It's just one thing after another, one thing after another. When I leave church, I'm like, done, right? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want, I'm like done.
Yeah.
But then that's his moment. It's like when his thinking box pop on, right?
Yeah.
He just like to like talk about it. And so I have this thing now, and I tell him, I look and I don't even have a watch. I'm like, okay, you got 5 more minutes.
She be telling me to shut up, y'all. She be saying, shut up.
I don't say shut up. But I just be like, we got 5 more minutes to talk about that, and then we're at home and we're done.
Yeah.
So like, how do you, both of you guys are really active in ministry, and you're real active, in church and in ministry. Like, how do you balance that when you're at home?
For me personally, I have to just find time for myself sometimes. And a lot of times that come from me either playing the game or practicing the instrument or something like that.
Okay.
But that's just me time. I'm not a person I don't think I'm overly consumed in gaming and things of that nature, because that's something I do in my spare time.
Okay.
Oh, it's an eye roll. It's an eye roll. I caught it. Okay. We're going to go there.
We don't wind down now.
We're going to go there in a minute, girl. I saw you. I got you. Okay, keep going. I saw you.
On a Sunday, most of the time, we have 3 different services that we attend on Sundays. So we both are active in those services. So when we get out of church, a lot of times I'm tired, and she's tired.
Yeah.
She likes to go to sleep. I can be tired, Lord, I can barely make it in the house. I'm so tired, but I'm going home and I'm getting on the game because that's my time of just winding down, leave church out of it, and just, get myself back to where I need to be. And so that's a lot of times how I kind of repair and get back, to, myself, basically.
Okay.
I would agree. I think we're very good when it comes down to establishing time to spend by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the whole coronavirus thing, it kind of made it a little bit more amplified, because at first, when we first got married, we had a lot of other different stuff we were doing, and, we'd be kind of separated. I'd be at my mom's house sometimes, and he'll be in another place, and we'd kind of come together at night. But once Corona hit, we were stuck, like, at home. So we had to figure out different things that we can do to still hang out together, but also give ourselves time. So I'll go in the other room and I'm watching YouTube videos or doing my makeup or something, or shopping or whatever. And he's in there playing his game. For the most part, it's fine. Because I have to realize nobody wants to be up under somebody 24/7. Everybody needs a break. Everybody needs a chance just to chilling, just be by themselves. Now I do spend a lot of time at home because I work from home now. So it was kind of an adjustment at the beginning because when he would come home from work, he just want to relax and chill, and I'm just like, I want to talk. I ain't seen nobody all day. I want to go out. Can we go to the park? Can we go do this? He's like, hey, I'm tired. I just want to play the game. But I just want to talk to you and say about how these customers got on my nerves, and I just want. And I just had to realize that I have to chill, and I just gotta go find something else to do, and another way to occupy my time.
And even with that, after that moment, it kind of got to, I get home from work, and she's leaving out. I'm like, babe, where you going? Well, I didn't think you want to come because you just got off work, and I'm like, well, I don't want it to seem like, you got to go out by yourself because I'm one of those type, most of the time she's going somewhere or we're out, I like to go with her. Just don't want to seem like, she's out. She's always gone without her husband. Where her husband is, So I don't want that image to be, what's portrayed in our marriage. So then I'm the one, where you going? Well, I'm going out. I'm just going to the store. And I'm like, then I felt like I had to go out because I'm like, well, I don't want her to think that I just don't want to go anywhere. But I think we've gotten past that to the fact of she going out. I'm like, okay, that's her time. She needs some time to go express herself, get out the house some, and I can have my time here. And then once she gets back, then we,
So it's all about just finding that happy medium or compromise, right? Okay. So now we're getting close to our time. I do want to talk about this though. How do you handle? And I'm gonna let you go first. Put you on the spot here. How do you handle major arguments or disputes? Like, what's your approach to handling major disagreements or arguments or disputes? Like,
Well, I like to jump into it, but you would rather for it to kind of cool down a little bit, and we go to the table on it.
So why do you like to jump into it? Can we be real?
I mean, that's
He likes to jump into it, y'all, because he likes to fuss. He loves to argue.
Y'all, they call me the fuss box, y'all, but don't pay him no attention.
He loves to argue, right? Like, it's a sport for him. He loves to argue.
You still putting all my business out there.
He loves to argue and fuss. Me, on the other hand, I hate it, right? I hate to argue and fuss. And so I know he likes to poke the bear, too, So that's his love language to me. He likes to aggravate me, right? He really likes to aggravate me. So he really likes to jump into it and, well, let's talk about it. Me, on the other hand, I need to wait till I'm cool, you cool, and then we can talk about it. Because he has a strong personality, and I have a strong personality.
Yes, Lord.
And so when those two collide, it's a tsunami in our house. It takes a lot for me to get there, but then when I'm there, are y'all like that? Like, when you there, you there?
I think we're kind of different though, because we are both super chill.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful.
We would rather wait
We got
until
goals.
the
We got goals.
waters settle.
Yeah.
We would rather wait until the waters settle and then kind of, lay it all out on the table, in a nice way. This is a story. Before we got married, I forget what was going on. She was heated. She was heated. I don't think we talked for a couple days.
Oh, yeah, because I would shut down. Like, I would treat you like you don't exist.
And we normally don't get into
Easily.
So you
arguments.
petty too.
Oh, very.
I believe I was calling back to
yeah.
back, no answer. We finally ended up getting together. And the first thing I said before we got to discuss the matter, I was like, okay, let's pray. I said, let's pray.
I couldn't even be mad. I was like, you know what? Okay.
I said, let's pray. Because I've learned that even when going through our premarital counseling, sometimes, hey, if that's what you have to do, do it, But I was just trying to calm,
Diffuse the situation.
diffuse it. Because I'm like, okay, if we pray about it and you still up there, then come on, something wrong. So I'm like, Lord,
Right.
we come in here, we praying for us our tempers to be down,
Yeah.
and we both children of God, so we're gonna
That is
act
so
accordingly.
beautiful. That ain't really how that go in our house. That's beautiful, man. We need to do better.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's really not how that go in our house. We can go. But again, I think, but we can fuss. And I'm talking about fuss, holler and scream and fuss, and then turn around and say, what we going to eat?
Yeah.
And then we can literally go sit down in a restaurant and eat like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
So I think that it just depends on your dynamic, your makeup, what. I had to learn that he's a fusser. I don't think I'm going to change that about him. It's been 19, almost 20 years in this thing, and I don't think that that's going to change. So I had to learn how to keep myself together when he's in that moment. Likewise, there are sometimes I just want to fuss.
Yeah.
And so he had to learn how to keep himself composed and together when I'm in that moment. But I think when you're becoming one, the thing that word is becoming.
Yeah.
I don't think that you ever become.
Yeah.
I think that as long as you're married, there's a constant evolving into becoming one. And when he changes, when he evolves, I have to change and evolve. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I think most couples begin to not enjoy their marriage when they stop becoming.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good.
When they stop becoming, when you get so consumed of this is, it's my way or the highway.
Right.
Yeah.
It's what I want to do or not. I think when you stop becoming, that's when your marriage is doomed to be headed in the wrong direction. And so as long as you focus on, the two shall become. And then I want to go to this last verse 25. It says, and the man and his wife were both naked, and they were not ashamed or embarrassed. I know sometimes we read that verse and we think about naked in the physical sense, but they were naked in the spirit together. They became vulnerable together, and they were able to talk about things and discuss things. And I think that's very important in your marriage, that you become vulnerable with one another so that you can become one. Because how can you become one if there are secrets?
Right.
Yeah.
How can you become one if you're not discussing and talking about different things? And so I think that it's very important that in your becoming one, that you also remember to be naked, be naked with one and not embarrassed. I talked to him about some of the most intimate parts of my life. He knows some things about me that absolutely, positively no one else knows. And I'm not embarrassed about it. I'm not embarrassed about some of the things that I have to deal with or go through, because we are becoming. That's good to me.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's some good stuff right there, And I'm not embarrassed because we are becoming.
Right.
And so if we keep becoming, if we remember to stay vulnerable with one another, to stay naked, and stop telling our homeboys and our girlfriends more than we tell our spouses, then we can become and we can evolve into one.
Yeah. That's good.
Don't y'all think that's a good note to end on? That's a good note to end on. So we want to make sure that you guys were able to take something away from this. Share this with your friends. Share this with your families. We think that it's something really important that we sit down and talk about marriage. The name of it is The Price of Marriage, and not just because our last name is Price, but it's catchy. It's really catchy. I like it too.
Yeah.
It's The Price of Marriage, but we really want you to know that in order to be happy in marriage, to be successful, there's a price that comes with it. There's an investment that comes with it, and you have to be able to invest in your marriage and invest in yourself in order to be happy. So thank you guys for joining us today. Any closing remarks? Anything y'all want to say?
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. I think this is great. A great kickoff to it. We're pounding. Okay, we're pounding. It's a great kickoff. And so we're going to be doing this. So you guys stay tuned. And until next time, like we say in church, keep living by faith. Even in your marriage, keep living by faith. We're going to throw that faith nugget out there. All right. Peace out, guys. Y'all be blessed.